Introduce yourself right in the beginning. 2, 1. And we're live streaming right here. Hey.
Excellent. You're live with TRC Robotics. I'm Matthew Schwab, responsible for go-to-market. Ethan Schur, just below me, is our Chief Technology Officer. We'll let the journalist ask the questions.
So what are we looking at here? This is, you call it the virus-killing robot?
That's one of the use case. So MMR means multi-purpose modular robot. So if you see, and we sent some pictures as well, for virus, we have a module where you could put UVC lights that basically disable the virus, but you can take that module off. And then you can use it. You see here, that's a security configuration. You see in this video, you'll also see the mass scanning, temperature sensing. So any number of use cases. The same robot could be in an office, in an industrial environment, in a manufacturing environment.
Let me address the question with an analogy. You may not remember, but it wasn't that long ago that people would walk around with a BlackBerry phone in one pocket and an iPod in the other pocket. And then Apple and Android had the idea to pioneer the migration of the smartphone industry from the limited purpose smartphone to the multi-purpose smartphone. TRC Robotics is effectively doing the same thing with the service robotics industry. People are used to single purpose or limited purpose robots. I've got a fantastic robot in the home that vacuums, but it's never going to do anything else. Tracy, the robot you're seeing on the video, is a multi-purpose modular robot. That's what we call it. So, and right now it's transparent, so you can see there's lots of room for things to go on inside. And when you talk about the virus killing feature of the robot, as Ethan said, that's one of the features. We're going after the hotel market. The hotel market has been slammed from every different direction by COVID. And so one of the problems that they have is housekeeping. They already are more likely to have sick days than other workers because they're intimate with sheets and towels of multiple hotel guests. By sending in a robot carrying a UVC light, that will never 100% eliminate the viruses and other toxins, but it will substantially eliminate. And because it's mobile, it will eliminate shadow colonies unlike a stationary device. So, but that's just during the housekeeping hours. What about?
Oh, are you still connected?
Oh, it's fine. I'll jump in. I think what he's saying. Oh, you still there?
You're coming back? I think somebody is playing video games on your internet or something. So hopefully you'll be back in a few seconds. But this is a prototype, right? How soon is this? What is the vision here? Is it coming quick to the market?
Yeah. So this is our MVP one. And so the difference between this one and the final version is there's a couple changes on the base. And then also, obviously the final version is not transparent. But if you take a look at the pictures, you'll see we have an office version that's like a wood grain, beautiful thing, can deliver mail in the office. We have, a factory version that has a scanner that can deliver packages, check things in the factory. And we have also the virus killing. But it's the same robot for different purposes. So the idea is you buy it for one thing and you just get an app and it can do anything else. It's basically like the Android of robots, how Android can run on all these different phones. Right now, most of the robots you see from China and other places, they're single purpose, they're overly expensive, and they don't have also the software ecosystem that we have, which is a really exciting MMR OS, we call it.
So MMR OS, because I've heard about some robot OS kind of open source communities and stuff like that. Is it maybe somewhere related or?
Yeah,
or is
exactly.
it
So
based on Linux, or what is it?
you have ROS, which is the robot operating system, but development is very fragmented there. They even started with a ROS 2 that's kind of halfway in limbo. So what we do is we have a system, the main processor, we call the robot control unit. It's Nvidia based. So we have like the Nvidia supercomputer Xavier, in there that's taking care of all the AI, GPU tasks and everything. That's running also a Kubernetes cluster. So the whole thing is modularized. Even the software is in different containers in the OS. So when you get an app, basically that's a container that has all the functionality to do what it needs to do, including advanced navigation, SLAM, which is localizing and navigation simultaneously. And our OS, MMROS, kind of makes it easy for developers to develop and deploy apps. We have an app store as well.
Did you mention Nvidia? What are the chips on here? Are you using ARM CPU solution?
Exactly. Yeah. So this has the latest. This has the for the what we call the R. We have what's called the RCU. That's the main robot control unit. That one's based on Nvidia Jetson platform that has specific AI processor, and so that means that we can use these advanced 3D cameras that we have, get the whole what you call point cloud of the room, and navigate everything, process that. Then we have what are called ACUs. So if you see the video of the robot, you'll see it's in 3 sections. Each one of those is called an RU, robot unit. It's kind of like in a server rack when you add, blades, you can add RUs and you can add ACUs, which are application control units. So you can just cluster more resources and stack it up in the robot if you want to do more. So you enable so many use cases, 5G smart city robot, outdoor robot, office robot.
All right. Maybe can you share some of the you were talking about images and you have some different kind of graphics. Maybe you can click on the share screen and show some more information about this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you're talking, for example, you have it as a virus killing robot. There's some kind of virus going around right now. So are you going to be? Is this coming out before the virus is gone? How soon? I mean,
it will work for this virus in any virus that's similar as well. So what the UV light does in the spectrum is it basically disables the RNA of these corona type viruses as well as other, influenza virus. And so this is a module that you could put on there. You turn on the UVC remotely, and it sanitizes the room. You don't need to have a human in the room because the UV light's not so good for your skin. It does its work 15, 20 minutes and you're clear. You can go into the room and it's sanitized. So I'm in the image folder right now in Google Drive, and so I'm just going to share. Let me go to this here, and I'm going to share my screen. And
or the whole screen, or maybe just the application. Yeah, and then we can see it.
No problem. I'm sharing this application window.
All right.
Okay. So you can see my application window here.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are images, and what you're going to see here is the same robot design, which, by the way, OEMs can change the way it looks. This is kind of like our reference design. But what you'll see is, so this is the exact same robot that's in the other room here. This is factory. So you see here that slit. Then we have the LiDAR there navigating. It's carrying a package in the factory. It's scanning boxes. That's sort of a factory use case. So that includes a module for the LiDAR and a software app for the factory use case. So you see that? Then, go ahead.
Yeah, so there's a lot of modular kind of features. That's the vision, huh?
That's exactly the vision. You see this? This is a hospital. Those are UV lights all the way around there, sanitizing robot. That's a hospital hallway, hospital room. Okay. So we have a lot of different things. We have also, I think here we have the office. So check out this office edition. This is a table edition. It's got a tabletop. Very beautiful in the meeting room doing all the office tasks. But you see, it's the same robot design with the same RUs and internally the same system and the same cloud infrastructure.
You're in the Silicon Valley, right?
That's right.
So there's a lot of of talk in the Silicon Valley, it's important to become the platform, right? So you're trying to become the platform that becomes like the mass production robot that goes everywhere and does a whole bunch of different things.
That's right. Hardware, software, development kit, cloud, everything.
But so TRC, can you explain how is it like a startup or how far along? Many people, or if there's investment, it can go fast, or what's the status?
Well, like any company, with investment, things go faster, but we have a really great team, and the architecture that we've set up with a containerized system, with the cloud, actually during this period where everyone's working, from home, we've been very effective. We have also, the ability to have a full simulator of the robot. So the work is great because our people can work anywhere. Let me show you something here. This is the full robot in the simulator. And the simulator means that everything is simulated. The way the joints move, the velocities, the intrinsics. So you can simulate any use case before you do it. It's almost like, try before you buy. It's just loading right now, the video of the simulation.
Yeah, we're using the whole bandwidth to do this 1080p live stream. Hopefully it's working and smooth. Okay, let's go to your...
Yeah, so this is what you call a digital twin. This is I don't know if you've heard of this term, digital twin technology, but it's an exact copy of the robot, all its systems, all its wheels. It's actually running on MMROS, so it doesn't know the difference between the simulated robot and a real one, but we can simulate all the functionality before we go through a use case, which is really nice.
You can simulate. Here, I have a question. Let me see if I can add this to the... Oh, how does it work? Yeah, I'll try to add them in. Yeah, I'm not sure about how to... There's a question from Sampler19. Looks like a nifty robot for sanitizing. Looks a little bit like Dalek. You should make it be able to say exterminate. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, we do have audio. We have built-in Google Voice, so the thing can work like a Google Home. You can give it local commands, but the idea for this robot is really to not make it look like a human. A lot of these robots, they try to make them look like a humanoid, but they're actually very stupid. They can't move properly. They can't answer your questions. And in this case, it can, confuse people sometimes. I'll show you here. I'm in the office right now. You see here, I just switched to the back view. So you see these ones? These ones look like humans, but you try to talk to them, they're real dummies. Most of the robots you see around, they're not that intelligent. Our robot is very smart. You can give it local commands. Oh, we have it running right now. It's going to tell me to wear a mask right now. Let's see here. Yeah, it just said, please wear. I'm not wearing my mask right now. So it's got its temperature sensing and mask sensing application on right now.
Nice. So it checks if you have a mask. If you don't have a mask, it exterminates you.
Well, there's no extermination here, but it does say what the temperature, what the temperature is. But there are a lot of great, applications.
Would you film around the office? You have some colleagues over there.
Sure. Yeah. So okay, I'll show you what's going on here.
To be on camera?
Yeah, it's no problem. So here's our little, when I started, I was collecting these, single purpose robots from China, and I realized the deficiency. They can only do one thing. They have to run through a server. They run on Android. It was a big problem. So we decided to build, our robot from scratch, and we came through a few different versions. So you see here, this is the mobility base, which can even be swapped out. This has inflatable tires. You can switch to wheels that go up the stairs. You can switch to non-inflatable or more outdoor wheels. In there, you see there's the RCU mounted, and then each one here is what's called a RU, a robot unit. So you can put different equipment here. Like this one, we're putting different kinds of sensors and sensor board. There, of course, you have a navigational LiDAR with a slit, like you saw in the factory use case, so it can navigate. And of course, on the top, you can mount different things as you've seen in the video. And then we're doing a lot of tests right now for, the advanced navigation. One thing you'll find is a lot of robot companies, if they say that they're autonomous navigated, a lot of times there's a guy in the basement that's really navigating. But we have, this is the brand new advanced point cloud camera from Nuo. It's got a mirror design and a single CCD. This takes a full point cloud of the entire environment so the robot can move autonomously because it knows the XYZ location of everything.
Nice. So there's some secrets in there. Or can you show a bit more around and maybe?
Okay, I mean, if you want to see more around here. Okay, well, you see here, this is what we call the Mule. This is where we do kind of all the ugly testing, before we put it on the final robot. Since we want everything to be in a nice container, this is something where we can just sort of test first. We're sort of putting it back together right now, adding some new components. This is a sort of a tower that has all kinds of AI processors.
Let's go close to that one. Do you want to show that? What is it, like Nvidia board?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So, we got an Nvidia board here. We have different kind of sensors, stereoscopic sensors for testing, dual networking here. So we can have an AP mode for direct connect and another mode for being on the Wi-Fi. We have the ability to add a 4 or 5G there. Obviously, sonic sensors. We have long-range 2D camera, built-in display. Not to mention, we also have some holographic displays like this fan and a holographic pyramid down here, so we can do some things for mobile, robotic advertising.
What's that bar there on the right? There's like a thin PCB. Is that like a Mobileye?
You're talking about this?
Yeah, this thing there.
This is better than the Intel. This is the Mint Eye AI-enabled camera here. So this is a stereoscopic camera here.
Based in Santa Clara, right?
That's right. Yeah, they're close partners of us, and so this is a stereoscopic camera with a wide base and an IR structured light, so that we can also get a point cloud in a 180 degree. This is a sort of a human vision closer. This is more like the human eye separation, 2.5 inches. This is the Nvidia high resolution camera. So we have all kinds of camera inputs that connect to convolutional neural networks. Those neural networks can detect, okay, this is a chair, this is the fridge, this is a hand. So it knows some things from another. And I think that's really the key. When the robot knows where it is and what it's doing, it's able to do those things better with AI.
Your colleagues behind, are they secret colleagues, or would they mind saying hello?
No, they're not secret. Okay, you guys want to say hi? Sorry, we're talking in the meeting. This is Sin. He's working on the industrial design. He does all the SolidWorks, all the really cool stuff. So he did all the design for the for these RUs, and we're building two more robots coming up with slightly different design here. This is E. He's doing all the firmware, and he's right now doing some wiring and soldering. And so, yeah, it's really great because we're deploying a couple robots in the coming weeks. So we're just doing some new mapping and navigational setup for our new deployments.
So one thing that would be cool, I think, is if this becomes really successful and everything in the future, maybe you might have somebody, maybe yourself or another company, develop optional arms that you can plug in.
We could do that, and I've thought about that, a bit, but I kind of have the opinion that I'm switching to the front camera, that for some cases, arms are not exactly needed. So I'll give you a couple examples. You probably saw at CES the laundry robot that does the laundry. You know what I mean? It's like a big laundry machine that folds it. I think in the future, the laundry machine will, dry your clothes and fold it, and then hand it to the robot. If you don't really need to have the robot folding clothes. The laundry machine should do it and hand it to the robot. Or, you see something like this, like you see one thing that people always ask about is, okay, can the robot go into the fridge and can it get me a Coca-Cola? Honestly, I think in the future,
that.
Yeah, but in my opinion, I don't think the robot really needs to open it. The fridge can dispense a soda, and the same with the elevator. Does the robot really need to push the button on the elevator, or can the elevator just wirelessly signal to the robot? In my opinion, I mean, a lot of elevators don't even have buttons anymore. So it's better, like in San Francisco. So it's better if the robot can just kind of signal and communicate, communicate with things. And that's kind of like the direction where we're going. I'll show you over here. We're integrating all kinds of. So if you see like this kind of camera, this sort of advanced AI camera, you don't really need to mount this on the robot. You can mount this on the wall, and with the 5G infrastructure or the internal network, the robot can just talk to these things.
Nice, yeah, that's awesome. But it's also, I think it's great to see, for example, Samsung doing something like showing this arm robot thing, and Boston Dynamics is great, but it's pretty much like a production company for a YouTube channel, I think. I mean, I'm joking, but I hope people get to actually use those in the real world in a big, in a big way. Of course, it's awesome to see them dance and all these things and fall and push them over and everything. But it'd be nice to see the next level. So I would hope that in the Silicon Valley, somebody gets the funding and gets the the courage or something to put them out there and get them to do even more and more. Even the stuff that you think is hard, like opening fridges, maybe as in the future.
We can do that. I mean, we could do that. Any arm that exists, and we've already tested this out because there's people that make the most amazing arms in Bangalore, India, and Thailand, and other places. They have great arms. Some arms are just like simple grabbers, but there's really good arms out there. We have the ability to just connect an arm to one of the RUs. That's the whole point. So an app can be a software module, but that comes also with a hardware module. So if there's a good enough arm, it's not a big deal. We could just plug it. We can plug it into the side or the top or wherever they want the arm. We can add it to the simulator, check it out, and then we have the sort of what we call the grab it module. You just install it like an app. And so adding an arm to a multi-purpose robot, it's like adding a PCI card to a PC. You see what I'm saying?
And so you are in Silicon Valley, and one thing that I hope is that you figure out a way to do the marketing and the whole bill of materials and the whole strategy and stuff. So actually could potentially be affordable, or what is the strategy?
Look, a lot of these other robot companies, I think, are in some sense they're a little bit greedy with the prices that they charge for the robot. Our bill of materials, I think, is reasonable, and depending on the use case, I think for the customer, they're going to be very happy with the pricing. And we're talking to some people, actually, some people want to do leasing. There's different things that people want to do. Some people want, if you want to add a whole bunch of Nvidia high-end processors and a whole bunch of cameras, obviously it's going to be more expensive. What we have here is more like a basic MVP. It's more affordable than the other robots out there, which means that people can get more and they can be more pervasive.
So when you say more affordable, you have an idea of what's happening in the. I mean, I guess it all depends if this becomes if you become a bigger or a smaller company in terms of how many you're going to ship, right?
You got companies out there, they're charging $80,000 for a robot. They say it's autonomous, but they really have a guy in the basement that's really controlling the robot, and it's not really autonomous. We can sell the robot for a lot cheaper, and it's just really depending on the hardware. If you don't want to get the full autonomous solution, you don't want to get a LiDAR 3D camera, yeah, you can have a person control it, or you can get a whole autonomous package.
And you could get a much bigger display on top if that's what you want.
If that's what you want, some people want a display. Some people don't want a display at all. So it really just depends. Sometimes you actually don't need a display depending on the use case. If the robot's delivering things, maybe you don't need a display. If you're checking into an area, if it's doing like queue management, line management, you'll see in one of the PPTs I sent, there's different use cases. Some use cases, yeah, you might want a display, like the telepresence use case. That's why right now we have set up with holographic displays just to show how cool that is.
So, are you looking for investors, or what's the goal? What's next? Or
investors,
customers.
Honestly, yeah. So investors is good. I also think especially in Silicon Valley, a lot of times you can't count on anything. You got to just kind of do it. And so, also business partners and people that are interested in deploying robots to, hotels, hospital, data center, parking lot, so many amazing use cases, vertical farming. I mean, but don't take it from me. I think it's the customer that really has to define what their use case is.
All right. Cool. Thanks a lot. Thanks for showing. So you right there in San Jose, or what kind of area are you?
I think I'm kind of we're kind of in the Milpitas kind of area here, just the border of San Jose and Milpitas. Please come by, visit us anytime. You can play with the robot. The robot's made in the USA. We can manufacture it right here because we have such a great modular design.
All right. Cool. And is this part of the CES 2021 showcase, or what do you think?
It is, and it's a little better actually, because last year we had the robot there, but they have a rule at CES where a robot can't walk around the hallway, and it's like, why? He's got rights, but they don't let robots walk around in CES actually.
This year, next year it's going to be only robots can walk around.
I wish. I think that would be amazing. And one thing, I went over to a place the other day and I walked in and then the girl's like, "Can I help you? Where are you?" She was on the screen. She was on a big screen. So I think people interacting with robots that can't get sick and that can do, and it's when you think about the 5G smart city, like the 5G smart city shouldn't be a city that just spies on you. Like all these 3D cameras on the light posts, they can also inform the robot about navigation, imagine if there was an accident. The robot's loitering, it's helping people out with information, but then there's an accident, it can kind of go up and investigate a little bit. Or since we have such a strong Nvidia thing in there, imagine it acts as an ultra local edge server, so it can supercharge your smartphone because you're on the street and there's an edge server in the robot a block away. So then your smartphone is as powerful as an Nvidia processor.
I think at the next CES it should be robots only, and then the only other humans who might be allowed are the ones with smart glasses or something, because it needs to be better managed, because people are talking about having vaccination passports and all these things. I think if you have one of these, maybe that was a little bit
Absolutely.
weird.
I totally agree. And with AI, so that you're talking to someone that you want to talk to as well.
Yeah, get to the next level and something cool and just deploy.
That's right.
Deploy. All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks for reaching out, for doing the live demonstration, talking about this robot coming out.